Supersonics. Seattle's won 5 of its last 6. They face the hottest team in the league, Philadelphia, 10-1 since the All-Star break. With Sal Masakela and Tom Tolbert, Mike Tirico, what do you see tonight?
Well, interesting. Philly's a team. Both these teams like to get up and down now. The way Philly's playing, the last 26 games, we're averaging over 100 points a game. So one stat I would look for in tonight's game, Philly leads the league in forcing turnovers. Seattle's number 3 in the league in keeping the ball. Who can stop?
Snow took it to the goal, couldn't finish, got the rebound, and was fouled by Lewis. He'll go for the three-point pad.
We talked about the Allen Iverson versus Ray Allen matchup. Advantage Iverson on the quickness, and then you get Ray Allen on the other side. That's what we're talking about. Swing. You might want to find that guy because he's pretty good from out there.
Only one person has taken more threes, and that's Antoine Walker. He is second in raw three-pointers taken and made in the NBA. Well, Rashard Lewis, who goes to the bench here, he picked up his second personal foul. It's not a good sign for Seattle. So there Vladimir Radmanovic, the second-year man out of Yugoslavia, comes in. Snow completes the three-point play, and Philly on top by 1.
Gotta love Eric Snow. You want to talk about a guy that's just solid, does a lot of things well, runs the offense, plays defense, will hit a clutch shot for you. You gotta like a guy like that running your team.
Same post up, Iverson left small, they double, and Radmanovic rips scored on the 3, 36% three-point shooting.
Well, this is not a basketball team. This is a face-to-basketball team, a dribble drive penetration team, and then a kick and 5 guys for wide open jump shots team.
Speed of Iverson will get him to the free throw line.
And of course, the Wizards and Michael Jordan.
It's nice, Tom. Did a lot of nice work for this game. Dropniak in on Coleman, and DC on the board.
Whatever.
Sal, Rashard Lewis coming back to the game as Snow makes the layup. Anything going on with Rashard?
Well, he was just really angry that he got 2 quick fouls, and he had to run back in the locker room, get his composure, cool off, and as you can see, he's made his way back to the bench.
Barry, a 3. Knocks it down. That's a good hustle there, Sal. If I don't talk for a minute or so tonight, it's because I can't handle Tolbert. I just put my headset down and ran to the back for a minute.
I don't know. Maybe he'll want to go see that new movie, Adam Sandler and Jack Nicholson. A little anger management.
Iverson knocks it down. So Allen's starting to feel it, trying to pick up where he left off last night. Sal mentioned 36 for Iverson. His season high is 41.
Well, he's going to feel it at some point during the game. You shoot the ball 20 or 29 times a game, but think you.
Think me. I'll hold my school ring in front of you as Van Horn misses a 3.
The Orangeman?
The Syracuse Gnats. Fool. Allen sees immediate double-team reaction, but they have open shooters. Who can hit that shot like Radmanovic? Another 3.
You got to make this team put the ball on the ground and dribble, especially Radmanovic, Drobniak, guys that aren't comfortable putting on the ground and pulling up. You can't let them plant their feet and shoot.
Foul called on Peja Drobniak, 6'11" inside as he was defending Derek Coleman.
You're going to see the ball start on one end, double team with Derek Coleman, swing it back out, Rails, and hit Drobniak, then the swing to Radmanovic, and that thing's squared up. You got to get out closer and they can put the ball on the ground.
See, this Seattle team has shot their threes pretty well. They're middle of the pack in the league, but it seems like when they win and play well, they succeed. Philadelphia coming off the 3-less game last night. The Sixers and Portland going 0 from the line, from behind the arc. Ray Allen picks up the foul as he hit the deck, and Iverson kept going. 5 team fouls on the Sonics here in the opening quarter.
You've heard the expression breaking ankles, like when you cross somebody over?
Yeah.
Allen Iverson's so quick, he can break his shadow's ankles. That's how quick he is. He gets by. It's amazing. He can get by anybody at any time, left or right.
Here is AI gearing up pregame in the locker room, trying to make it through with those injuries to the right leg, but has shown no ill effects
walked across the floor. Players, staff, fans behind the bench were breathing through their jackets and their shirts. John Saunders and Sean Elliott felt it too. They called the game for us on ESPN.
But, at this time...
Well, when you come into the Fleet Center to call a basketball game, you don't expect to have a 9-minute delay, as we did between the third and fourth quarters, as something was let off behind the Celtics bench. They all started to tear up and started to gag. There's been speculation as to what it might be, but they shut it down for 9 minutes to discuss whether or not to continue.
Yeah, the closest thing I can think of would be the water cannon incident my first year back in San Antonio, where at the start of the game, it was delayed because the water cannon went off after fireworks. But, that was a whole different time in our country. And after tonight, I mean, we're sitting here, we're a little nervous. I think the crowd was a little nervous, especially when whatever it was started to creep over to this side of the court.
Yeah, it did make it over here. We started to feel it in our throats as well. Hugh Hollins, the head referee, had to confer with both coaches before deciding to continue.
It's a hell of a thing to be put into a situation like you're put into right now, where people on the bench start to gag, you start to gag, and you want to tell us to continue to play basketball under the circumstances that we're doing right now. This is a big mistake. Okay. And I don't care whether it's nothing or something. This is
I understand what you're saying, but I'll have to live with it. Let's go.
As he tells me now, if we run by here and automatically we start gagging, then it is pepper spray, right?
If you run by and start gagging, let us know, then we would go.
I'm not planning on going down there.
No, I didn't mean you. I didn't mean you. I meant your team. Then we would go to Plan B.
And Plan B is
eradicate Plan A. It was nice the fact that they could laugh at that point, but at that point it had come across the court, it reached us, we started to tear up and gag a little bit ourselves, and at that point no one knew exactly what had happened.
Yeah, and that's what made it so scary. I mean, again, you're talking about this time in our country with all the tension and with all the alerts going on, something like that happens. I don't know who the perpetrators were, but I mean, clearly this was something that a joke gone awry, or maybe something more serious, but not a very comfortable environment after that.
No, it was a scary moment, and someone who was right in it, right next to it, our Michelle Tafoya.
Well, John, I spoke with Fleet Center security, and they are not willing to put out an official statement at this time because they still don't know exactly what happened or what the substance was that was released behind the Celtics bench tonight. They said anything that they would say would just be guesswork at this point. They're still investigating the area. They did talk to a witness, however, who I also spoke with. That witness said he saw some people release this foreign substance into the stand areas behind me where the security guards are looking around, and then immediately run out of the building, sprint out of the building, as it was described to me. So tapes are going to be examined, and even tickets are going to be looked into to see who might have been there, who was then missing at that point in the game. People who were sitting around the bench at the scorer's table, other broadcasters, described those same symptoms: sore throat, itchy, watery eyes. One police officer said off the record and unofficially that those seem to be consistent with something that might happen after you were affected by mace. So again, that's just conjecture at this point. Nothing firm, no one in custody, and no definitive answer on what the substance was, John.
All right, Michelle, thanks a lot. Michelle told us earlier as well that the police are even going to look at the tapes to see if they can figure out who exactly was sitting behind the bench, who released that substance, and that's of great concern.
Yeah, well, you see when guys are spraying stuff and running out of the building, I mean, I wasn't so sure I wanted to stay around.
No, without question, it was scary, as Sean said, especially in these times we live in today. Back to you.
Hi, John. Sean, Michelle, thank you very much. A couple of comments from the players who were involved. Mark Blunt of the Celtics said, "I felt like I was just going to throw up." And Mark Bryant said, quote, "I just couldn't breathe." Boston police are on the scene as well, investigating right now. As for the basketball game, you saw Dennis Johnson, the coach of the Clippers. It was his return to Boston as a coach. The Celtics won the game 83-72. It was 31-30 at the half. Not a very well-played game, but Boston did get 22 and 12 from
It's amazing. I tell you what, for how big Iverson is and how light he is, how many points he scores in the paint, it's absolutely amazing.
Jerome James lost the handle. Iverson on the run out. You're right. He is. My nickname for him is he is the big little man of the NBA. He takes a shot every time, and 6 foot, 165 pounds is his listed weight. But you know the banging and abuse that body takes from the night in, night out. takes a beating. Ollie took a shot in the face as he missed. Good run here for Philly. It's 12-2 this stretch, and they could add to more. Add to it more, I should say. As Skinner was in the post, but Ollie took it away. Given up size, Kevin got it back. On the push, Radmanovic.
Finally able to get out in the open court and make something happen. Philly extended, and the way they extended was to keep Seattle out of the open court, not then let them get their transition game going.
Foul off the ball on Philadelphia.
And you see Ollie right here is going to keep the ball, keep the ball, keep the ball. Last second, once he gets by Iverson, just lay it off to Radmanovic. And we're going to see Philadelphia's transition game. The whoop! That one's going to be let go, up and over the top, little fly pattern. Catching ball, see Iverson right there. The dribble, the crossover. Did he? Nope. That never touched.
That's right.
That never touched. Well, you know how I know? Because Brent Barry wasn't complaining. Everybody else was complaining, but Brent Barry wasn't complaining. He was guarding.
Shard Lewis back in with those 2 fouls. Credited the last foul to Aaron McKee. I thought it was Skinner, but in fact McKee got called for the Philly foul. Jerome James the rebound, going strong. And I mentioned Todd McCulloch, done for the season with his neurological disorder. Ex-Washington Husky who's gotten a very nice reception here this evening. Philly by 5, 8.5 left here in this first half. Iverson's been on the floor all night. He has 14 of the Sixer 34. Eric Coleman loves to take that outside shot, knocks it down. So Derek was telling me before the game that he's playing center because of all the injuries. McCulloch and Sam Dallenberg were going to be their centers. He said he was a 4-man who was hoping to kind of ease towards the 3, and he keeps getting pulled back towards the 5 spot. But he's enjoyed it. He enjoys the group that they're with. His defensive presence forces the turnover. The bounce pass for Iverson to Eric Snow, and he'll reset it.
I watch Allen Iverson out there. Reminds me of Emmitt Smith sometimes, the way he's able to cut back.
What about DC for the Sixers? Had a chance to squeeze the rebound and could not. That one was a little bandage over it, and he's ready to go. Hill missing both free throws. So Tyrone, who was able to assimilate himself back into this lineup so quickly because he knows half the guys who are here, and you know, Larry Brown hasn't changed what he's done in the last couple of years when Hill was an integral part of that Sixers team that won a game against the Lakers in the NBA Finals. Ray Allen trying to get the touch again. Misfires there. So Allen is struggling.
Philly's playing some great defense. They're getting out, closing out, and then tell you what, that guy finds the smallest creases that you can't possibly fit through, and he fits through them. And you watch right here, this drive. I mean, this just, nobody gets through this. Let me find my way. Whoop, draws the contact, gets a foul. And I know he thought it was a shooting foul.
Exactly.
All scorers do. What are you talking about?
I got a great one for you. Bob Weiss, the assistant coach of the Sonics, came up with a great stat. They don't think of assistant coaches as stat nerds. There's Iverson all the way to the cup for 2 more. He has 16. Bob Weiss essentially said, look at the free throw attempts that Allen Iverson gets. And that tells you if you're doing a good job. You've got to limit his free throw attempts. Ray Allen online, but too strong with a 3. So 5.5 minutes without a field goal for Seattle has given Philadelphia a chance to extend this lead to 13. Largest of the night, the fake and go by Iverson. And the pass inside for Skinner.
Oh, my. All set up by the little man. Getting to his right. Underneath. Skinner just happened to be the happy recipient.
In the second quarter. Greg Buckner, Iverson, Keith Van Horn back in after taking 6 stitches. Brian Skinner.
Ran him over.
That is small offensive. Skinner picks up his second.
Skinner saying he was inside the circle, but he was the primary defender, so you can't just run a guy over. If somebody comes over and helps, then you can't be inside the circle.
Barry, Allen, Reggie Evans, Radmanovic, and Lewis, the 5 on the floor for Nate McMillan's team. Right, finds Ray Allen. Well, they had the Rain Man in Seattle when Sean Kemp was here. Now they've got the Ray Man. Allen trying to heat up again. He has 10.
Seattle's one of those teams that if they go through a 4 or 5 minute drought, they can get behind by 12 or 13, but they got enough good shooters. They got to play some defense, of course. But they have enough good shooters to get back into it.
What a sweet pass there. Skinner gets that finish to get the lead back to a dozen. It was 8 points, my goodness. But you expect that with Seattle, like you were talking about.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, that's their game. That's how they play.
Shard Lewis. Nice move over the outstretched arm of Skinner. Van Horn and Coleman posting. Van Horn lost Radmanovic. Offensive foul. No basket.
He must have hooked him with the elbow or stuck the arm out. Let's see what Van Horn does right here. It's going to spin baseline. Yeah, you can't extend the arm. Once you extend that arm, you're going to get caught. Otis Thorpe was one of the best at that. You ever see the arm? Otis Thorpe used to get you with the chicken wing, the elbow. And if you keep the hand in, but you get him with the elbow, they'll let you get away with that.
Van Horn picked up his second foul. For some reason with a slight delay over at the scorer's table. Greg Willard getting everything sorted out. He's putting in a little more time back on the game clock. 1:28 time remaining.
Greg Willard. Again, name kind of freaks me out a little bit. Willard with the rats and everything. That new movie coming out with Crispin Glover.
What are you talking about?
Willard, the rats. Willard, the guy, the rat. Dude, come on, man. Willard?
Willard Scott's birthday was like a day or so ago. I saw that on headline news go by. Allen over Snow.
Right back in it.
7-0 run for Seattle within 5. Final minute. First half. The key to Van Horn. Keith has been looking to shoot a lot since the stitches. McKee left free for 3. Van Horn went up and got it. Coleman. He is fouled. Keith Van Horn took the stitches and has come back. A little bit of attitude here. He's still mad from that offensive foul call. Reggie Evans calls for his first.
I say Super Gene.
Super Gene.
Yeah. Don't race these.
Radmanovic spun out a 3. Eric Snow tried to take a quick hit.
They want to get 2 for 1.
Why not?
They can.
How about 2 for 1 and 1? Keith Van Horn really playing with an attitude here. And that's the reason he's going to the line. Chance for the 3-point play.
A nice job by the Sixers extending. Seattle Supersonics got to within 5. Who's going to get this momentum going into halftime? Not that I really think momentum really carries over into the second half. It's always nice when you go in there and you eat your oranges and drink your Gatorade and feel pretty good about yourself.
Van Horn now has 13.
My bad.
Will it be 7 or more here at the break? Trying to get into Iverson's hand, being denied by Kevin Ollie. Such good defense, so it will be Snow to shoot. Couldn't get the roll. Van Horn couldn't get the tip, and we have arrived at halftime. Pretty entertaining half. Philadelphia 25-23 in that second quarter to take a 5.
And we're bound to keep your mind elevated. So this is timeless.
In years past, during this time of the season, that's when Superman really showed up. Guys got on the cape. Cape's a little shorter now.
Yeah, you're absolutely right. And you know, I don't want to put on that cape. You know, I want it to be simple where, you know, everybody bonds and create this umbrella where everybody can fit underneath and not ask one guy to try to fit everybody underneath his own one umbrella. I think it can be better. I think it will get to that. Hopefully the guys are starting to grasp it. It might take my leadership to do it, but hopefully they can understand that.
How important was it for you to be able to play when your son Jeffrey now is at an age where he's a player and he sort of now realizes what your athletic thing is all about?
The thing that I'm proud about and that I'm glad that he can see is not the skills, because he can see the skills from different guys walking, you know, and playing on TV. But the passion that I have for the game, a passion for life, a passion for doing something, whatever they choose to do. And that starts with, you know, for me and my wife passing it down to them. And if they have that passion, they can succeed because they're going to put forth the work in whatever they choose to do.
Everybody has their Michael Jordan moment. Well, I never asked you this, ever. Do you have one particular game or moment that stands out in your mind?
You know, for me, it was the Cleveland game when I hit that shot.
Jordan on Elo?
If that's what you want to call it.
Here's Michael at the foul line.
Cleveland beat us 5 straight times.
Shot on Elo.
It was picked to sweep us.
Good! The Bulls win! They win!
Our home papers and home television stations picked Cleveland.
Michael Jordan hits it at the foul line.
It's amazing what 12 guys thinking the same, along with the coaches, could do for a team that everybody picks not to go far.
Here's Michael at the foul line. A shot on Elo. Good! The Bulls win! They win! Set the Cleveland Cavaliers.
You can catch Michael Jordan as he makes his last trip into Madison Square Garden to take on the Knicks. This Sunday, it's a doubleheader on ABC, followed by the 76ers and Lakers. The whole day begins with shoot-around. Our guy Greg Anthony will be down there in MSG. And speaking of Michael, how about his evening? The Wizards taking on the Bucks, battling for the 8th playoff spot with Milwaukee. They came in a dead heat. Michael the Bucket there. Too much Sam Cassell.
Sam Cassell played extremely well, and also Gary Payton with the assist here to Mr. Mason.
Tough shot. Late, Wizards have a chance to tie the score. They're down by 3. They swing the ball nicely. Michael gets it in his hands. Unfortunately, that's not the guy with the long cape. It's the guy with the little bit shorter cape.
But credit.
That is not really going to make Nate McMillan happy with the field goal defense for the Sonics.
No, and you look at the rebounds right there. Philly is drumming them, but the 6 for 12 from the three-point line is the way Seattle's staying in this game right now.
The Allen and Allen show. Mr. Iverson with 16 on 5 of 11 shooting. Ray Allen had his points earlier, 7 in the opening quarter, and hit a 3 later on in the first half. They're matched up against each other while the Sixers start the third quarter with the ball. Same 5 that started. Keith Van Horn, Derek Coleman, Tyrone Hill up front, and Coleman into double figures now. Derek has 10 points to go with his 9 rebounds and 2 assists. Sal Masekela, the conversation from the Seattle side at the break.
Well, Coach Bob Weiss made a very good point. He said that when Allen Iverson drives to the paint, the Sixers were 10 for 13 in the paint, but 1 for 5 when shooting from outside. The original game plan was to keep them out of the paint. Plus, they're getting beat up on the boards, 30-12. Rashard Lewis got those 2 quick fouls earlier from that guard penetration, so they're going to try and take advantage of the original game plan here in the second half, guys.
Okay, Sal Drobniak with the putback after Ray Allen had to force one up before the shot clock. Bob Weiss, Dwayne Casey, and Dean Demopoulos, the assistants for Nate McMillan here in Seattle. Off the Coleman screen, Iverson. Shot was changed by Drobniak. Allen on the move. This is where the Sonics have been good lately. Ball movement, finding the open man, and Rashard Lewis makes it a 5-point game.
Well, it all happens off the break. You get off the break, guys don't have time to find their man. They're scrambling. You're getting to the hole. Somebody has to recover, help you out. You have to help them out, and then eventually get a mismatch. Rashard Lewis, guarded by Allen Iverson, just shot over the top.
Iverson over Ray Allen. He lost him with the dribble. Ray said that it's one of those tough nights because you know you can be strong and physical with Allen Iverson, but you got to catch it first, and that's a problem.
Nobody in the league can do that. You know, he talked to Bob Weiss and saying how he wanted to keep Allen Iverson out of the middle.
Rashard Lewis on the miss, and the rebound for Derek Coleman, approaching a double-double.
I think everybody would like to do that. You can't keep Iverson's pretty much going to get where he wants to go.
He clears space for Van Horn, who was very aggressive going to the goal at the end of the first half, and picks it up here, this time defended by Rashard Lewis. He did such a good job on Vladimir Radmanovic, but you don't expect him to be as good physically against thick Lewis.
Yeah, I mean, look at him. He's 6'10 and a half, close to 6'11, Van Horn, and he can score. It's just that people expect him to be this all-world player because he was the number 2 draft pick. You know, he's a good player and he can score. He's just not a go-to guy.
Brent Barry, quick release, missed the 3. Eric Snow on the push. No turnovers for Snow and Iverson, the starting guards for Philadelphia in that first half. How good is that? With the style of play they have, pushing it. Iverson taking and making over Barry.
I'll tell you what, it's a shame if that guy doesn't get invited to play in the Olympics. An absolute shame.
20 points for Iverson, 181 consecutive games in double figures. Not a Sixer record yet. Dr. J has 310. Holding foul on Eric Snow.
And I'm certainly not disagreeing with the people that have been selected. Supposedly Kobe and Mike Bibby and Karl Malone are going to get invitations, but you can't justify if you're going to pick the top 10, 11, 12 NBA players in the league and say this guy's not on it, huh?
Ray Allen is already on the team that will be coached by Larry Brown. It's a tie-up. And it'll be a jump ball. Jason Kidd, Ray Allen, Tracy McGrady, and Tim Duncan are the four that have already accepted the invitation to the USA Basketball. Some paperwork is what's preventing Kobe Bryant's announcement. That should happen soon. You talked about the other names that were thrown out there, and I asked Larry Brown tonight about Allen Iverson and his inclusion. Larry thought it may be a situation where it's tough for Allen Iverson to make the commitment for this year and next. Because remember, with the U.S. failures in the World Basketball Championships this past summer in Indianapolis, the USA basketball team will have to go to the qualifying tournament of the Americas here during the summer. There's going to be a 6-7 week commitment this summer, then next in Athens, Greece for the Olympics. Allen a three. And you say, why is it okay for the other guys to make that commitment, and why would it be tougher for Allen Iverson? Well, given his 6-foot frame and the physical toll he takes, that offseason of rehab and recouping is very important for Iverson. Holman
right there doing the most damage when he can go forward, get to the paint. You can't stop me. And then when you try to stop him, one of his 3 assists right there to Brian Skinner. He says, oh yeah. And what's most impressive about his mad skills is 8 for 16. It's not 8 for 24 for 23 points, not 8 for 20 for 23 points. It's 8 for 16, and he's doing it in a variety of ways. But look at the mades inside. 4 of his 8 makes inside the paint.
He's outside now. He's just toying with Ray Allen, dancing and firing and knocking down 2 more. Woohoo! Man.
Oh, man. Can I say one more time? Mad skills. This guy. Oh, man.
Plus 12 for Philadelphia. 6 for 6 the line as well. 3 assists. Rotate the ball. Have the Sixers running around. Drobniak 3 is over the top. Philadelphia has the ball.
See, Allen Iverson is doing it all. He's inside. He's outside. I'll tell you what, if I was Angola, I would be happy he wasn't coming to the Olympics. He's saying, sweet, leave this guy at home. Stay home.
Yeah, he might be there. A lot to do. Billy King, general manager of the Sixers, is on the selection committee for USA Basketball. It's a foul on Reggie Evans. He was holding Brian Skinner's arm. That's the 3rd team foul on the Sonics this half. Know what they're getting into, know the situation, and those who competed internationally representing the U.S., Ollie hits a jumper. They're not going to see anything drastically different in terms of these drug testing procedures that were passed this week. I think the story was not reported with full factual background, so it'll probably simmer down. One thing USA Basketball does is they let all the players know what the deal is once you sign up to be a part of international competition.
Well, the way it sounded like, they just come and knock on your door whenever they felt like it.
Iverson fouled by Ollie. You hear the fans cheering the Iverson hoops. Speaks to what you were talking about, Tom, with the Sixers being second in road attendance in the NBA.
Well, it's him right there, and you watch this anticipation right there. Jump up, got it, and I don't think he was very happy with that call. He was at the breakaway. He gets up, cranks one anyway. He's like, come on, man. Hey, don't call that a foul.
I had 2 down here. Now 3 fouls on Seattle, 4 on the Sixers. You see Allen's defensive number and leading the NBA in steals. This time Kevin Ollie, the defensive assignment, drew the attention from Allen, allowing Snow the free pass to the goal, +1. And that's when the star is going. The other guys in the constellation shot.
Absolutely. You get the dribble drive, the penetration. Great pump fake by Eric Snow. And with Eric Snow, he's the guy you want to have shoot it, so you don't necessarily want to bite the pump fake. Ray Allen bites. And then look at the body. The body right there shielding. And then Allen says, yeah.
He had a great reaction last night after they just applied the mid-fourth quarter knockout punch in Portland. Eric Snow, I had to do a double take, and then I remembered I did stay up to watch the game. He had 5 turnovers last night, and that is unheard of for Eric Snow, who has turned it over 26 times in the last 16 games.
That's amazing.
And that's playing heavy minutes, too. Wow. Going the other way, Evans 5th. Iverson shaken up.
Well, Allen Iverson hits the floor more than a bull rider. He's all over the place, all over the floor. And let's see if Reggie Evans was moving or is just, you know what? That's a tough screen, but there's nothing wrong with that screen.
No.
It's just a big guy versus a little guy. Big guy's going to win.
Yep.
And looks bad, and because it looks bad, sometimes the officials assume there must have been a foul when there really wasn't.
You know Iverson wants to shoot. Over Ollie. Write it down. Timeout, Seattle. Allen Iverson putting on a show as the hottest team in the NBA cannot be stopped tonight. In Seattle tonight, took the Reggie Evans knockdown there. Was called a foul on Evans. Many disagreed, and as the fans were feeling the wrath, Iverson, against Kevin Ollie, who was playing good defense.
That's great defense. I mean, hands in the face, and he just said mouth. And he looks over at the fans and says, yeah, I'm feeling pretty good right now.
Allen Iverson and the Sixers now lead by 16 points. Their largest lead of the night. Allen has hit 5 of his last 6 shots.
Well, Seattle's going to figure out a way to stop Philadelphia. It's not like their offense has been terrible. They just can't figure out a way to stop Philadelphia. You can't stop the offense. You're not going to come back from a 16-point deficit.
Charlotte Lewis has missed 7 of his 10 attempts tonight. Marty Allen off our stat man. It's Marty's favorite week, championship week. He can work 15 games in a week. Iverson sees Radmanovic.
Oh, this could get ugly. Oh, building him out to hit the jumper.
And Radmanovic the rebounds. And Kevin Ollie tried to find his fellow former UConn Husky Ray Allen, but Iverson was right there for the steal. Larry Brown just gets up and just tells Allen, you know, get back in the flow. You let Iverson go for his stretches, but then ask him to get back and involve the other guys.
Yeah.
Van Horn mismatch on Allen. The help comes. Lost him anyway.
Tough move. And that's a tough match for Ray Allen. Much like early in the game, Ray Allen's a tough match for Allen Iverson. Keith Van Horn is way too much size for him. Good job of Philadelphia recognizing the mismatch.
Philadelphia shooting 59% from the field, including this 13-2 run. Radmanovic is fouled by Van Horn. 5th on Philly, so free throws are coming. Well, Allen Iverson was a fabulous quarterback in the Tidewater area. This is kind of like the quarterback stat that you see in a football game. Fouls taken, charges, times hit the floor, times knocked down. It's all the toll that Allen Iverson takes on a nightly basis. 42 minutes per game, on average, 2nd in the NBA.
Well, you said it. I mean, that's the thing. That's every game. That's not an anomaly sitting there in front of you. That's every single game that he gets hit. He gets knocked down, and he keeps coming back for more. He never shies away from contact. In fact, he initiates it.
Radmanovic knocks them both down. You know, Philadelphia and Larry Brown, and how many... You work in talk radio in San Francisco. They get those little devices now that you can play comments over and over and over. What are those called? Do they have a technical name?
Oh, if they did, I would never remember it.
Anyway, right in that thing, right next to all the Jim Moore rants, as Skinner comes across the lane and Brian gets a goal. Playoffs is Allen Iverson. Right, is Allen Iverson's practice.
Yeah, exactly.
And they talk about that over and over and over. That became such a big issue last year as we're watching the Sixers try to win for the 11th time in 12 outings since the All-Star break. Vladimir Radmanovic has knocked down 3 threes here tonight. Seattle trying to climb out of a big hole down 15. Anyway, Monday, Sixers played in Sacramento. Had off until last night against Portland, so Larry Brown had a couple of days of practice, and Larry, the Hall of Fame coach, loves practice. He had Allen Iverson sit out practice. I think it's a good decision, because in back-to-back games, Iverson is putting on a show. 36 last night, 30 tonight. He's gone over 30 for the 25th time in Philadelphia's 61 games this year.
Well, here's the thing. If your coach is going to sit you out, that's fine. If you have nagging injuries and you need to sit out of practice and your coach says, cool, that's fine.
And that's why, because of the right leg injury.
Yeah, but don't mock practice.
Right.
Don't mock it, because that's how Jordan got better. That's how Magic got better. Larry Bird. You're talking about a lot of the NBA greats challenge their guys during practice, and to them, that can't make layups. That's why they don't shoot them.
Jerome James deterred the shot by Tyrone Hill. Ray Allen trying to get this Sonic team going again, and he gets fouled. Brings Greg Buckner down with him. Well, you can catch live action on NBA TV this Sunday. The Celtics hosting the terrific San Antonio Spurs. Sunday, 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific on NBA TV. See Ginobili last night?
He's playing great. He is really playing great. And he's the guy that could really give them a big boost off the bench. You look at Parker and Duncan are saying, you know what they're going to give you. But if Ginobili can come in and give you those 12 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, he's not just a shooter like a lot of the international guys are. He's very athletic. He can get out there and play defense and do a lot of things offensively.
New Jersey goes to, they lost to San Antonio last night. They go to Houston tomorrow. They're struggling down this Texas swing, as so many teams do. If the Sixers win tonight, up 15 here in the final minute, and New Jersey loses, Philadelphia is going to be a game out of first in the Atlantic Division. Hard to believe, especially after we watched them lose 111 to 85 at the beginning of February, right before the All-Star break, to New Jersey. 2-for-1 chance. Allen seizes it and takes it to make it 5 in Portland last night. Garrett Coleman blocks the Kevin Ollie shot. Stays with Seattle, 6 to shoot. Last 2 games, if you include the 3 quarters tonight, Sixers have outscored Portland and Seattle by 40, 173 to 130.
Well, you know you're not getting up very high when DC blocks your shot now.
Oh, come on.
Oh, DC used to be a great shot blocker. He can't jump anymore.
He does have to.
Derek cannot jump anymore.
Less than 1 per game at this point in his career. Snow chases down the rebound.
You going to dispute that?
No, it's accurate.
Okay, thank you.
Very accurate. Iverson and Snow, they go so many minutes. And they go Pierce Walker type minutes for those of you who watched the Celtics earlier tonight. Coleman, Brian Skinner, and Greg Buckner complete the 5 for Philly. Here is Iverson over Jerome James. Extended, and Jerome James has looked back like, you gotta be kidding me.
My. Oh, he shook Kevin Ollie. He went left. Ollie went to his right. Iverson crossed back over and went to his right, and Ollie stayed left. And he couldn't catch up to him.
James out high, watched by the 50-year man out of Baylor, Skinner. Seattle so much better from behind the arc tonight. Allen missed one in close, and Garrett Coleman comes away with the rebound. Double-double for Derek tonight.
Earlier on, I'm getting my left and right straight. Thank you.
Iverson on the take, across the lane for 2 more. An absolute show from Iverson tonight.
He doesn't miss those. He's got that one down pat where he comes from the left, goes across the middle to the right, and then kisses it off the glass. Those are almost money.
Watched by Kevin Ollie, you can just see Iverson's taking the life out of the Sonics here this evening. James has it knocked away. Here come the dark shirts. Eric Snow takes it at the goal, fouled by Ray Allen. First foul of the quarter. It's the Lakers on Sunday and close this Western trip. People are questioning how good the Winds were. Shard Lewis connects inside when they got on this great winning streak, because they were some thin victories. 2 over Chicago and Cleveland, Memphis and Denver, all teams with losing records. But they have come up after the loss to Sacramento with a win over Portland, in good shape tonight. And they also had a win at Utah at the back end of this trip.
Yeah, the exchange rate on those wins were about 2 1/3. That's what it amounted to.
Much like the plummeting dollar via the euro.
But these ones, now these are worth more than just your 1 win. That's coming out west, beating Portland at home if they hold on the night. And even though they lost at Sacramento, a very tough place to play, they played a heck of a game.
In the game right to the very end. Here, great pass. Here's Iverson. One more time. Now 14 of 24. Take that, Tommy. I'll let you get this in the Sacramento game the other night.
13 for 23.
You find that stat?
I found it.
Very good.
I remember that somewhere. 13 for 23. You don't forget stuff like that.
So if he would not have taken that shot, he would have been 13. Iverson. And Ray Allen's been frustrated, Tom Tolbert.
Well, they're taking him out of the game since early on, sending a couple guys at him right there. Picking up a little cheapy, not happy with that one. In the drive, once again, Van Horn comes over off the ball. Strips. A little cheapy, not happy with that one. In the drive, once again, Van Horn comes over off the ball, strips it, and then just throws it away. And I tell you what, give a lot of credit to the guards of Philadelphia. 50 points, 12 assists, and 0 turnovers combined. At home, that's a great performance. On the road, that's phenomenal.
Sonics down 12 in a must-score situation here to try to keep the last few minutes competitive. Ollie tees up Jerome James working on Derek Coleman. Comes across the lane, and the 7-footer can't get it to go. Van Horn keeps the rebound alive in the hands of Iverson. Interesting, they go to James out of the timeout there.
Yeah. Well, he scored the last time, and they got Derek Coleman, a smaller guy, guarding him. But they definitely, Seattle needs to get the next score.
Coleman almost turned it over. Van Horn waits at the line. Right down 3 and right off the Sonics with that one.
Bye-bye.
10 field goals for Van Horn. He has 24
Look at DC.
on the night. Yeah. Trying to get to the floor and knock it away, and the Sixers get the timeout. It is a full, so we will step out with it. Remember, Sports Center coming up as soon as we're done. Full recap of the Friday in sports and set the table for the weekend. Philadelphia in great shape here tonight to get within.
That was like when he only slept with 2 women a day. That's
you know, you see that telegraphed. Call Jimmy Kimmel, see if he needs a writer. McKee almost lost it. Van Horn kept it alive. Missed it. Ollie with the rebound. You know, since Shaq was out, that 3-9 start, Lakers 31-15. Radmanovic at 3. Good night for Radmanovic. He has 20 points, 9 shy of his season and career high.
Now, this has got to be the biggest full-point lead in the history of the NBA because I mean, they're right there. They're right there.
Allen dives on the table. I think he got some soda on some of the people doing stats. Allen keeping it alive. Finds Kevin Ollie. Seattle within 10. Apply the pressure here. Larry Brown says, get away. Let the guys do their work. Allen, 7 boards, 7 assists. Van Horn goes to the goal. Ollie tried to come and get the steal. They couldn't. McKee on the take. Radmanovic blocked it. Coleman keeps it alive. Iverson outside. Still time to shoot. He sees the clock. He sees the hoop. And he sees Derek Coleman inside. Couldn't get it to go. Wow, could be 8 or 7. They'll be on fire if this goes. Lewis for 3. Time out, Philly. Take your remote and put it back.
Intense on the defense. Don't gamble too hard and don't foul. Let's get this stopped. That's what he said.
Philly will have a foul to give inside of 2 minutes. Seattle, no fouls to give. Snow handling, watched by Allen. 7 to shoot. Iverson off a screen, guarded by Ollie. Used to Coleman's screen. And knocks down 2 more. A 40-point night for Allen Iverson.
You know, come to think of it, maybe one of the reasons they came back was Allen Iverson had been out of the equation for the last 2 or 3 minutes.
He had missed a couple of shots. Remember when he was forcing a little bit and they wanted to run their stuff? He had gone quiet. Down 9. No need for a 3, but it really wouldn't hurt right now. Lewis, a force.
Yeah. You don't want that.
Iverson, the rebound to Coleman.
There's just no reason. There's no reason to take a forced 3 if you can get a good 2. If you're squared up and it's a good 3, sure, you want to launch that thing. But not once about a 10% shot.
Yep, sorry about that. Iverson coming off the screen. Ball was kicked away. Steve Berthume, Neil Everett, Sports Center coming up as soon as we're done.
And it's always good to set a pick when you have a 7-footer behind you because he's not going to step out and try to block the shot. And Allen Iverson just had clear sights on that one.
Iverson twice this year, 41 points. He has 40 tonight. Chance to get a season high, probably on this trip. Nope, dish to Van Horn. That little hook. that's about as perfect a night as you could have. 26 for Van Horn. Iverson goes for 40. Brent Barry back in the lineup. Double screen. Allen 3.
How does that guy get wide open? That's one guy, if I'm Philly, I'm saying, you know what? Somebody else can shoot it, but I'm not letting him get square.
5 threes for Allen. He has 23, 7 boards, 7 assists on the night. That's right about the average he has performed since the Gary Payton trade. Iverson doubled in the corner. Found Coleman. Derek got it back and was fouled. You know, there was a guy with a sign here saying February 20th, the day the Sonics died, the trade of Gary Payton, who played 990, there's my guy there, 999 games. Well, it was a situation where the owner, Howard Schultz, who we've talked about earlier, man who owns Starbucks, it's Casual Friday, I guess, at Starbucks. I'd love to see an owner like him and Cuban come to the game cash. They really felt they were not going to sign Gary Payton, so they didn't want to lose him for nothing. So, even though Gary Payton is beloved in this city, hopefully one day the feelings of hurt from this trade will die down, and they will be able to, as we look back for Wally Walker, Sonics headman, they'll retire Gary Payton's number, and all will be kind of forgiven when time heals the wounds. But if they weren't going to get anything for Gary, they need to get somebody in return down the line. They end up with Allen and Ollie, 2 guys who are certainly going to contribute, and could end up with a lottery pick if Milwaukee doesn't make the playoffs. They got a first-round pick in the deal, and now they'll build, as you mentioned earlier, around a 2 and a 3 in Allen and Rashard Lewis. In no way means Gary Payton wasn't a great player here, and his legacy shouldn't be, one of the best in Sonic history, but they had to move on because they didn't think they were going to keep him.
I guess the bigger question is, what kind of clown would watch a game with a sign sitting in his lap the whole time? I mean, come on. You're going to pay good money to go to a basketball game and sit with a sign in your lap the whole time? What is that? Like, really?
I'm looking at him.
He still has it. He still has the sign. He's still holding the sign. Apparently, it got to be $100 for those seats, I would imagine. Right. Unless they got free tickets in a giveaway somewhere. But, I mean, just to come, I want to enjoy the game. I want to have a pop. I want to, talk with my buddy. I don't want to hold a sign.
All night.
All night long. A sign all night long. But you're right. Yeah. Hey, Sal, what's up, man?
Tom, let the kid mourn. If he feels he needs to mourn, let him grieve. He'll get past it.
He's in the lineup when he's going.
Face of the franchise.
Allen is short. Ray Allen will not only be a great on-the-court player for this franchise. He's an established star in this league, but he will also be terrific in a great community like Seattle. The marriage will be just fine. It's been a very warm reception this far. I spent a lot of time talking to Ray about that pregame. He has really been made to feel very welcome by the folks in the Northwest. But the Philadelphia 76ers have welcomed themselves in the Northwest. Last night in Portland, tonight in Seattle. They will win back-to-back games, make it 11-1 since the All-Star break, 36-25. The final number tonight is 9, 108-99. The Sixers continue on fire. Iverson had 40, his second best of the season. Van Horn 26, Coleman 14-14. With Tom Tolbert, Sal Masakela, Mike Tirico. This has been a presentation of ESPN, the worldwide leader in sports. For more, log on to ESPN.com.